Maryann Boom Boom Maisano here, producer and headliner of the Italian Chicks Comedy and Variety Show, and Dr. Joe Luciani, PhD. Wow. That's a big freaking title.
You like that, huh?
I do like that. Yeah, I wanted to be. Did you know that if I wasn't going to go, well, you know, I got wrapped up in corporate for many years. All right, so hey, thanks guys for joining in. Had a little bit of a blip there for a minute, but we're back. Did you know that I always wanted to be a shrink if I wasn't going to be a performer?
You say that to all the shrinks, don't you? No, you went the right direction, away from being a shrink.
You don't think I would have made a good shrink? No. Why?
Because you're too loud.
I wouldn't yell at people.
You would.
Maybe after 5 times. I would give them a little while to get it, and then I'd say...
You have no patience.
True, I don't have a lot of patience, but I wouldn't yell at a patient. If he or she complained about the same shit for 5 times, then I would say, oh, thank you. Let's get it with the freaking program here, right?
And what do you think happens in therapy? You don't think things get repeated 5 or 6 times?
Well, yeah, I'm assuming, but maybe different ways. But then, don't you get sick of hearing the same shit?
No.
Oh.
Who listens? No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding, of course.
So, thank you guys for joining in. Let me just see who's here right now. We have Rosemary. Hey, girl. What's going on? Mike. Thank you, Mike. Michael Rosario, my little meatball. I love this kid. Okay. So,
before we begin.
Yeah.
St. Rocco was this week.
Oh, my God. St. Rocco's Feast in Fort Lee, New Jersey. Dr. Joe and I grew up on the same street, and we used to go to this feast.
Absolutely.
Every year.
I lived next, remember the Perinos next door to me?
Uh-huh.
Well, Mr. Perino used to take care of the statue, the St. Rocco.
I didn't know that.
It used to be in his garage.
I didn't know that.
And we'd always creep up to the garage and look in and look at the statue. Did you ever see the statue? It's got St. Rocco with the dog.
With the dog, yeah.
What's with the dog?
Well, I think he was in competition. Who was the other saint with the dogs? Wasn't it Francis or Jude? Saint.
There's another dog saint? I don't know.
There's a saint for animals.
Oh, St. Francis.
St. Francis. But I think St. Rocco,
right.
He's also for animals. But I think St. Francis won out, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, but what I had always heard was that he has a wound on his leg, which is on the statue.
Right.
And the dog licked the wound,
and
it got better.
Well, then the dog should be the saint.
That's very good.
Right? Don't you think the fucking dog, if the dog licked it, the dog has the powers.
Saint Fido.
Saint Fido, right. Because St. Rocco to me got so watered down. Because Fort Lee's not the way it used to be. I mean, they don't even have an Italian stand there anymore. No. It's all bok choy, zeppelis. They don't even have a sausage and pepper stand.
No.
Yeah. So I really think that St. Rocco is the patron saint for things that fell off the truck.
I always thought he was the patron saint of Hudson Street.
Oh, you know, it's too nostalgic to do that. He could be.
Yeah, I mean,
he's been there forever.
That was our world. At the end of the summer came St. Rocco.
And we had to go.
Life was good.
We had to go. I mean, we would go, as I got older, we would, go different nights. But when I was younger, my mother got us all friggin' dressed up for Sunday night so that we could sit by the bandstand and watch them do opera.
Right.
Remember that?
Oh, sure.
Oof.
Then they'd shoot the fireworks off, right?
Right.
Mr. Perino's house. We'd wet our pants,
Yeah. I thought it was fucking gunfire, right? Today, you'd be like ducking in your car, thinking it was a drive-by, right? Okay, so for those of you that are maybe joining us and haven't joined us before, I have some questions that folks have emailed into me through Facebook Messenger, and what we're going to do is, their concerns or issues or this or that. And what we're going to do is answer these things. And Joe is, of course, going to give you the clinical solution. And then I'm going to give you the Italian chick solution. Okay?
Do we have to call it an Italian chick solution? Can we call it an Italian chick opinion or something?
Well, you don't think I have a solution?
No.
Just because you have a freaking PhD, you have the solution?
I don't think. I'll be amazed. Let's go on. I'll be amazed.
You'll be amazed?
Absolutely.
Oh, Mother of God, you have no faith in me. Please. Can you believe it? I have solutions. I do have solutions.
The dog on St. Rocco's foot had more solutions.
Don't make me lick your knee. Okay. All right, first question. And you know what? I decided not to use names. Because, people are funny, and I don't want people looking up and then go, no, is this the person that, you know?
Now, does Dr. Boom Boom go by HIPAA rules like I have to go by HIPAA rules?
You have HIPAA rules. No, I do not have HIPAA rules. No.
You should.
I should?
You should have HIPAA plus rules.
HIPAA plus. I got it, the HIPAA rules.
You need to be more constrained, but go ahead.
I do.
Please.
I have. You think I have constraint issues?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
I mean, is it bad, like for like a one-on-one?
Oh, it's terrible. It's the worst.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, if it was just you and I and we weren't doing this and it was just one-on-one, you wouldn't.
I wouldn't be in the room with you.
You love me. Knock it off. God damn. You know. All right. I hate a shrink. He's trying to be funny. You see what I'm saying?
I'm trying very hard.
All right. Here's the first question for
Good.
Dr. Joe and Boom Boom. Why, Dr. Joe? Why do I have such a hard time letting go of people after we break up? Could it stem from a mother who wasn't present, a dad who died when I was 2, a house where sibling rivalry was encouraged, and more importantly, why do I feel that by keeping them around, I kind of have an ace in the hole? I hold on to relationships longer than I should, then consistently second-guess myself while I'm looking for the next best thing. Wow.
Well, there's a lot there, but essentially we're talking about the effects of insecurity.
Right.
You grow up with insecurity, and you tend to cling. It's hard to let go because the insecurity sets doubt in motion. We're just never sure. Am I doing the right thing? So if you have something, I guess the philosophy is something is better than nothing, or until something else comes along, and you leapfrog from one person to the next. So you're living with handholds. Your relationship becomes like handholds. You have one you hold on to, and then you go to the next, and you let go of this one, because there isn't enough inner security or esteem to really just stay in between relationships and just be okay with yourself. But the background sets us up for insecurity. Everyone has insecurity to some
Right.
extent, but the background does set you up. What you have to realize is that sometimes you may be adverse to risk. And with a relationship, if you're clinging too much, you're afraid to risk moving forward, and that can really be a problem, especially if it's inhibiting your potential.
Mm-hmm. Well, so then how do they go about trying to work on this to make this a little better for themselves?
Well, the issue is letting go.
Mm-hmm.
When you let go, if you are insecure, you're going to feel some degree of anxiety, some
Right.
degree of stress. This person sounds like he or she knows that letting go is already a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a matter of recognizing that if insecurity is driving it, then you have to challenge yourself and realize that you're clinging for the wrong reasons.
Right.
So sometimes it's a firm act of will. You just have to, in order to grow a self-discipline muscle, you have to flex it, you have to exercise it, you have to take those small risks that allow you to start going forward in a more independent fashion. Dependency will always drag you down, one
Right.
way or another.
Right. I agree with you.
Wow.
Pretty good, right?
Yeah, I'm impressed.
Aren't you? Yeah. I do agree with you. However,
Oh, jeez. Don't know, however. It's either you agree or you disagree.
no. However, I agree with you. I do have a little spin, a different spin.
It's like when someone says yes, but. Everything after the but, nothing before it really is true.
Well, you're right. I didn't say yes, but I'm just saying. However, I do have another spin.
Okay.
I absolutely think you're absolutely 100% correct.
Right. Sure you do. Sure.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Okay. But here's what I'm thinking. I do think it's insecurity based. Okay? Because I think, and we do have a background here. If we didn't know that background, I would just assume there'd be something in your background that made this happen. That's what I would think.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Because that's what I think it's all about. We don't just wake up one day and go, shit, I'm insecure, okay? We kind of, our insecurity comes out because it's triggered by something that happened in our past, and then someone says something to us in our present, and I think we have to learn how to manage that, or for the rest of your friggin' life, you're going to be walking around with this bullshit, and you're never going to evolve. Am I right?
There's the yelling I'm talking about.
Well, because you just got to...
Listen, let me say, you said something very good.
Okay.
A great definition of neurosis. It's a confusion of the past with the present. And you kind of said it, but see, you don't have the degree after your name, so of course I need to clarify that for you.
Like, chi cazzo, chi sto disgraziata. But that made sense.
Yes, of course you did, to some people.
Oh,
There's always, it's the blind squirrel with the nut. There's always somebody that'll say, she made perfect sense. And I'd like to meet that person.
Did you say the blind squirrel with the nut or the blonde squirrel with the nut? Okay?
They're synonymous.
I like when he does all these analogies about the guy with the water, carrying the water, the pail, and the story is very enchanting.
Very good.
It is very enchanting. Yes. But after you say, like when you're laying there on the couch, you don't want to hear a story about a fucking guy with a pail of water walking up a hill. You understand?
I don't think I ever told you that story.
You did, didn't you? But you do remember that story.
I remember the story of a pail.
Right. I mean, I'm just trying to make it analogous to something that, you say, which are great. I love all your Zen stories. I mean, they do, it's a metaphor. You go away feeling something. But when you're laying on the couch, you don't want to hear about a man with a pail. Okay, Gabish? You got. All right, now, the next question. My ex-husband keeps texting me. I blocked him for a long time, and the second I unblocked him, there was a text. I'm divorced from him almost a year. It was a toxic relationship. He was emotionally abusive. And now he's texting me, and I did text him back telling him to stop. Should I continue to block him, or is it my ego that I'm replying back to him that needs attention as well? Wow, you guys got some meaty questions today, okay?
With someone that is kind of harassing you, someone who doesn't let go, it's kind of what we were saying before about the insecurity.
Right.
With someone that doesn't get the message, they just don't get it. That person has dependency issues, obviously, boundary issues. I find that it's very important to be black and white. If you're somewhere in the gray and give an opening, this can go on and on. If you are truly wanting this to end, then I think the best posture is to be very black and white about it and to not leave that door open a crack. Because for someone that is compulsively trying to pursue you, just a crack in the door is enough to keep them going on and on and on. So I would say that you are much better off trying to just realize what you want, and you can articulate that one time, but then I would say that's got to be it. You've got to be strong.
Right. Now, is it because she put down here, is it her ego that is making her reply?
Well, it could be. There are lots of ways that we feel about people that are pursuing us. Maybe it has to do with compassion. Maybe it has to do with just, sympathy. Just feeling that someone's desperate and we hold the key to their desperation. And it could be ego in terms of the power that you wield when you are the one that's getting someone to grovel. So yes, it could be. More so than not, it's probably just you're being compassionate, and it's hard to really tell someone that you're going to have to disappoint them.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but
however,
no.
However,
it's just I get this little thing here where you make a break, you want to get rid of something, you let it go, and then all of a sudden you find the need to either reach out or you find the need to reply when you know you shouldn't reply. And I don't get that either, because I've been stuck in that myself. And I think for me, see, I'm not even gonna, please. For me, I find that I don't like when people leave things angry.
You like everything tied in a knot, nice.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't want to say we should be hanging out and, visiting each other and partying and...
But let me ask you a question. Sometimes you might be just doing everything politely and in a nice, holistic way, and the person gets angry just because they're being let go. Sometimes you can't stop someone from being angry. So what do? Do you go on trying to make them not angry?
No, but I'm saying after a period of time.
Right.
Time has gone by and everybody's moved on in their world and their life. Sometimes I feel the need to contact that person and just say, "Hey, Joe, how you doing? I just want to say hi."
If you and I ever broke up,
if we broke up,
I would never want you to call me to ask how I'm doing. Ever. I would say, that's old. That's history. Leave it.
Really?
Leaving sleeping dogs lie, yes.
Again with the fucking dog. We started out with the dog licking the wound, and now we're back to the dog, okay? So you should just say leave it alone and just walk. And don't feel bad thinking that you should be able to...
Unless you want to resurrect that relationship,
right?
Then why go back and just, and just kind of, what are you doing? Why would you go back and kind of stir things up?
Sometimes I think people feel it's the need to want to feel like people don't like to have people not like them. You know what I mean?
And the more insecure you are, the more that need.
Exactly. Which also applies to the question that we had before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because, you're more insecure, so you feel the need that you have to do or think you're doing the right thing or that kind of thing, right? Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
See?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not so fucking bad, just so you know.
However.
Okay. Now. Okay.
Is this all one question?
Yeah, it's a 4-part question.
Do I need to take notes?
I don't know. Do you want me? I don't know. I think I'll read the whole thing.
Oh boy.
And then let's see if we could chunk it out, okay?
I have a short attention span.
Shiny objects, shiny objects.
I had a very short attention span whenever you would tell me any of your issues.
You see? You see? That's why it took me longer to grow. Do you understand?
Yeah. And it's taken a while. You have a lot more growth ahead of you.
You think so, huh?
Which is the good news.
Oh, please. Okay, here's my 4-part question for you and Dr. Joe. It's long. Feel free to edit. Oh, very sweet. Okay. Is there a way to deal with really, really difficult people? We find that one of my... He's pointing to me. See what I'm saying? Like I'm a fucking problem.
No.
All right?
A difficult person.
I'm not difficult. I just...
As you can see, I'm trying very hard to work with a difficult person. Read on.
Just because... And he's freaking Italian. You think once in a while he'd yell. Okay.
I'm only half Italian.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
You are not. You're lying. I knew your mother and your father.
I think I found out that my father was born in San Marino, which is an independent republic on the across from Florence in Italy. It's not Italian.
What is it?
It's San Marinese. I don't know. It's San Marino.
It's San Marino.
So I'm half Italian.
You would be, yeah, sure. Okay. Is there any way to deal with really, really difficult people? We found out one of my wife's sisters, she's impossible to deal with. She knows everything. She's loud, foul-mouthed, argues with everyone. Don't you even say a word. I only argue with you.
Loud, foul-mouthed. Jeez.
Don't even. Please. It could be me. We think she fits the definition of borderline personality disorder. Because she created turmoil wherever she goes. She can't get along with anyone. She has trouble holding a job. First it's great, then they're dumb, then the boss is an idiot, then she quit the job, which really means she got fired. She's disrupted family gatherings, and at one of our things, even at Thanksgiving, asking her how things are going with her new job, she launched into this solo triad where she was playing both roles, her boss and her. Wow, that's pretty interesting. She should really be performing, I guess. Culminating in F-bombs dropped at the dinner table, whereupon we asked her to leave. She has calm moments with many of us, and we feel bad for her. And our daughter recently suggested that she might be able to share an apartment with her, which is her aunt. And we wonder, is there any technique or tools we can use to deal with somebody like this?
Wow. Nothing simple, that's for sure. I mean, this is a personality kind of issue, and I'm not sure if it's borderline. We're not here to diagnose from afar, but there are deep-seated kind of problems here from the personality level. She doesn't seem to be someone who would be amenable to just talk or growth or even self-insight. She has a very jaundiced view of people in the world, and she feels, so it seems, quite victimized. I would just caution you with your daughter to really think twice about that alignment, unless this is just these are excerpts, and otherwise 80 or 90% of the time she's this delightful person. But it just sounds to me like this is not an easy person to deal with. These, we used to call it in graduate school characterological disorders. They don't use that term anymore. What kind of personality issues? And you never wanted to work with someone that was a characterologically disordered person, because they're the person that says, it's not me, it's you. Mm-hmm. Whereas a neurotic person says, what's wrong with me? So you can help that person because they're willing to own and take responsibility.
Right.
But the person that says, nothing wrong with me, it's because my boss said this or she did that, that's why I'm angry.
Right.
So they never take true responsibility. Kind of like you. No offense, but...
I'm going to knock him right on his ass today. I'm telling you now! All right, so what do they, I mean, do they try to not invite her to things anymore? Do they try not to, what do they do? How do you...
Well, that's you get into boundaries. If someone is so disruptive,
right,
and cannot get the simple kind of understanding that you're trying to get across to them, that look, we'd love to have you, but you have to realize every time you hear you get everybody upset, you go off the deep end. If you could control yourself, we'd love to have you. Mm-hmm. But you have to kind of realize what the problems are that when you do come and what happens to all of us. If you can't get any kind of acquiescence, I think you have to think twice about inviting her.
Right.
If I had someone that always showed up, like let's say you were my closer friend, and let's say every holiday you would show up, and just when you would leave, I would be in tears.
Right.
Almost like after these shows.
After these shows. Get, keep it up.
There would come a point where I would say, you know what, you hit me once, you hit me twice, enough is enough, and I wouldn't invite you back.
Or you would create a boundary and say, here's the deal. If you come here, right, this is my expectation.
Right, but I would do that as the last resort. And then if that didn't work, then that would have to be it.
Right.
You can't put yourself in a position where you're allowing yourself to be abused.
Right.
You see, people may attempt to abuse us, and I'm not talking about physical abuse, mm-hmm, but when it comes to verbal and mental abuse, more so than not, we allow it. So, you have to be aware that, it's very hard for someone to abuse us if we don't permit it.
Right, we do allow it. I agree. And for me, I mean, I think you're absolutely right, but I would be creating a boundary as well. Like I would say, listen, the next time you come over, here's what I expect. I don't want you walking in and causing a problem. If you have an issue, you want to talk to me privately, you can pull me in another room, but you're not going to do it when we're at a table with kids and this and that, right?
Exactly.
And create some kind of... And if, if she doesn't like it, then she can go avant-garde, right? I mean, really.
We didn't learn that in...
You didn't learn that in shrink school?
No.
You didn't learn that in shrink school, huh? Well, come on. Well, first of all, hearing that question, which was, I mean, it sounds very difficult, okay? It also sounds like somebody I dated. But nonetheless, I would have to go there with her. I would really have to go there. Because if she's going to cause all this drama, I think you got to open your mouths and really lay down the law and set the boundary. But just to update you, a couple of weeks ago we had a question from a young girl that said she was dating some guy and that all he was doing was harassing her because he thought every time she wasn't with him that she was cheating on him. Remember that?
I do.
And we gave her advice, and your advice was way different than mine, even though it was very good. My advice was she should go out and fucking cheat on him. Because you know what? If he thinks that that's what she's doing, do it and go have a good time. Did I hurt you?
No.
Did I hit you? Okay, I do flail a lot.
It's hard to control that passion.
I know, it is. I'm very passionate. But guess what? Here's the update. He cheated on her. So isn't it true what they say, that when people accuse you of something that you're not doing, it's usually their own friggin' guilt? Like in Moonstruck, that movie, Italian movie.
It's a projection. So if you are a cheater, you're going to assume people are like you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which brings me to my favorite joke.
Okay, go ahead. Let's see. He's got a joke. All right, wait a minute. Let's see.
What do we say about the wife that runs off with the tuna fisherman?
I don't know. What?
Menage a tuna.
Oh, God!
And she thinks she's the comedian.
Where did you get this joke from?
I could try to be funny in here, can I?
Yeah, you can, but I don't know. I don't really like
Yeah,
jokes,
okay.
to be honest with
That's
you.
true.
I like stories that are funny.
Good, okay.
Like, can you maybe work on a funny story next time?
Sure, absolutely.
Will you? Without a man with a pail.
Okay.
No man with a pail. I do have one joke
Oh boy.
that I remember. I actually won tickets to a show on a radio show with this joke. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
What do you call Raggedy Ann with a rock in her mouth?
No idea.
A cotton rock sucker.
Jeez.
It was better than the menage a tuna.
We'll have to get the thumbs up, thumbs down.
I thought, yeah, exactly.
It was. I know it was a poor delivery, but it was a pretty good job.
It was a pretty good joke.
Terrible delivery.
Well, the delivery
I'll take
was
responsibility.
You know, it's,
Unlike you, I'm willing to admit that sometimes I'm not as effective as I'd like to be.
wow.
Except when it comes to psychology.
Right. No, of course, and I have to agree with that because
It's like the Pope. Infallible.
infallible.
In matters of the church. He might be terrible in, auto mechanics or something, but
Right.
yeah.
No, I think you're an amazing therapist.
Thank you.
I really do.
Infallible?
Infallible? Yes. I had to say that. Just in case I fucking eat
Here
it.
it comes.
What do we-
However.
However. Okay, now. So let me just see if
Whoops.
we have anything going on here. And Maria Ann, thanks so much. Thanks for tuning. Steve, dude, what's going on, Steve? Let's see what we got. I can't scroll on this now. Okay. Oh well. So that's all we got for today. And I hope that you guys, we'll let you know because we're going to be putting it up on Facebook when we're going to be back out here again.
Actually, once we sign off, Maryann and I sit here for the next 4 hours continuing this dialogue, just so you know.
Yeah.
She needs it. She needs it. She'll be better next week, I promise.
Yeah, I'm going to lay on his couch.
A little healing.
Okay, a little healing.
A little healing taking place.
Let me ask you a question. Did any of your patients ever try to come on to you?
Absolutely. Only once.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you? I mean, come on. I know you're a shrink and you can't, but I mean, did you? You must have been flattered.
Actually, I was a little scared.
Well, you were scared?
Yeah.
Why? Was she creepy? Okay. No, I mean, it is frightening in this kind of environment, right?
Well, I was just starting out, and I was torn between not wanting to make a bigger scene or a bigger problem and having her, kind of back off. But, it worked out. But, I've had some pretty wonderful experiences, but there were some funny ones, too, that are kind of worth talking about in one of our shows.
Yeah, we're going to have to do that because I think it'd be interesting to see, behind the scenes what the shrink thinks because we're the ones that are laying there, pardon the pun, exposed.
Oof.
Right?
You got to go from, have you ever been into exposed? Come on.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, we are exposing ourselves. We're vulnerable. We're talking about shit that's really private. We don't want to let other people know.
Right.
That's why, look, Italians, do you think they're going to tell your family that?
No.
No, because they're going to come here.
Right.
And then tell you, please, if you see my sister, don't say a word. Right?
Now, do you think Italians being rather close-lipped when it comes to expressing themselves,
Yes.
do they feel better going to an Italian therapist?
I did. You know why? Because we have this term in Italian called figura. Figura, which means to save face. And you, because of the beard, you don't have to worry about it. Your face is hidden. Oh my God, this guy is too much. So check out Dr. Joe Luciani, PhD. Selfcoaching.net. I can't believe that just blanked on that. Selfcoaching.net. He's a net guy, not a com guy. Amazing books. That I have all of his books, and I have read them, and I listened to the CD because he does have a calming voice because he doesn't really yell. Now, having me on a CD would be, he'd have to be like, oh, right? So, so thanks so much for tuning in. And Joe, I hate to say this to you, but our time is up.
Jesus. However,
Hey, Maryann Boom Boom Maisano and Dr. Joe. How you guys doing? Joe, I forgot to tell you this. I hope you don't mind. The original name of this show is called Life Lessons from Hudson Street. because we both grew up on Hudson Street. But you guys are saying, Mucky Gots, who gives a shit about Hudson Street? I don't know Hudson Street. You see what I mean? We friggin' lose them because there's no interest, no emotions.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Okay.
You know about emotions.
No, but I thought everyone knew about Hudson Street.
Well, I don't think people from Brooklyn know about fucking Hudson Street. So, you think so?
I think so.
Oh, well, you're such an optimistic. I can't believe it. I am too. I'm Tinkerbell. But I decided we should change it to shrink wrapped.
Shrink wrapped.
Because you're the shrink, and I'm not wrapped too tight.
Okay.
What do you think?
We'll try. We'll get feedback.
Yeah.
And all the Hudson Street people,
Hudson Street.
don't be afraid to vote.
Right. So if you like the show name to be Life Lessons from Hudson Street, let me know. Or if you like Shrink Wrapped, let us know. Okay? And we'll take it from there. I see you people doing some likes at the moment. I'll jump up in a few minutes. I just sat my ass down. So you know, I don't want to get up again right now. But we did get some questions.
Good, good.
I want to thank you all for writing in some questions. And I'm going to, well, we're both going to answer them because we want, you know, an objective, real, live, therapeutic response from the PhD guy, the shrink, the real shrink. And then we want the, you know, objective Italian chick.
Objective?
Objective.
Oh.
You think I can't be objective?
Well, we'll start calling you Dr. Boom Boom again.
Yes.
And yes, I think you can be objective.
I can.
To a point.
To a point.
Yeah.
Are you trying to say that I have some flaws that I need to work on?
No.
Oh, really?
No, you're perfect.
You're lying.
Just the way you are.
He's lying. See? He's looking for me to go lay on the friggin' couch again. I know these guys, okay?
Yep.
All right, our first question is from Kathy. She says, my boyfriend thinks I'm cheating on him, and I'm not. However, no matter what I do to try to reassure him, he doesn't believe me. So how do I friggin' convince this guy?
Jealousy. Jealousy.
Jealosa.
Jealousy is based on insecurity. It has nothing to do with you. An insecure person has, and this is a generalization, I know, but an insecure person has almost an anticipation that they're going to be rejected. So if I'm in a relationship and I'm jealous, in the back of my mind, you're going to cheat on me because I'm expecting it. I'm so insecure. I have such a low self-esteem that I'm waiting for that shoe to drop. I'm waiting for you to go out and cheat. And there, see, I told you. I knew it all the time. Right. And, you know, jealousy is a cancer. So, you know, the thing is, he has to work on his insecurity. And if the insecurity isn't dealt with, then you will continue to be the object of his anger. So jealousy is a cancer within a relationship. It has to be addressed as an insecurity, not as an actual problem within, you know, you're cheating or not cheating. It's the fantasies of the insecure person.
Really?
Yep.
But if he doesn't want to get work on himself, then she's screwed.
I don't want to say screwed, but I could tell you that in relationships where these kind of things are not addressed, they typically don't go away. Now, unless this person matures and has some life lessons that start to encourage some of that security, things can change. Mm-hmm. But without any intervention, if the jealousy is just left to run rampant, it's a problem.
Well, you know, I agree with Dr. Joe, but I want to give you my, Kathy, I want to give you my interpretation. If your boyfriend thinks you're constantly cheating on him, how can you make him believe that you're not when you haven't, and he still just keeps, how do you convince him? So you got the clinical version. My version is, fucking cheat on him, okay? Because if he thinks you're doing it anyway, you might as well have a good time, because when you're with him, he's probably a miserable rat bastard.
Huh. Never thought of it that way.
But it could work. Because maybe he'll never fix himself.
That's true.
And then she's going to be in this, she'll get friggin' anxiety, and she'll have to come to you.
Yeah, but what if circumstances change? What if this guy, you know, does grow up? I mean, jealousy is often adolescent in nature. And sometimes it's a matter of maturity. So, you know, Dr. Boom Boom gives you the impulsive advice. And, you know, it's throw the baby out with the bathwater, throw the boyfriend out with the, you know, I don't know. Yes and no. So you have to be the judge of that. You have to give it some time. You have to have some discussion. You have to challenge. Obviously, you challenge this person and you let them know what the story is, and there's going to be movement or not.
True. You know what? You always say, throw the baby out with the bathwater. I used to hear that analogy in corporate, when I was in corporate, and the visual of that just got me so friggin' upset. Because I would envision a baby being literally thrown out, going like this, help, help! Isn't it scary?
No.
No, I guess I am a little screwed up, huh? Okay.
It is very visual.
It is very visual, isn't it?
Do that again.
Shut up. We got some questions. Let me see if we got some people here. So sweet. Okay. This is Donna. My ex-husband always accused me of cheating. Why? He was a serial. He was a serial cheater. Oh, well, he was a serial cheater. Oh, that's not good. Okay. Well, if he's a serial cheater, I'm glad he's your ex then, okay? Nancy! Oh, Nancy remembers Hudson Street.
Hey!
All right. Let me see here. Gina Scarda!
Hudson Street rules.
The Italian chicks in person interpretation. Yes, you're right. Let's see here. Glenda loves shrink wrapped. Okay. All right. Rocco, I'm trying to see. Gonna get with you in 1 minute here. Do people generally accuse you of what they are doing?
That's a good question. You know, it's called projection.
Thanks, Gina.
We tend to project our own shtick onto someone else. It's often the case that someone who is a cheater will project that same distrust onto a partner and assume that they can't be trusted either. Right. It's a good question. Projection occurs in many different forms, not just in relationships and cheating. You know, you might see someone that's you see as angry. Well, it may be a projection of your own anger. That person may be neutral, saying, what are you talking about? I'm not angry. Right. So, you know, projection is something that we do quite often.
Right. See, my mother always used to say to us, because you know my mother and father's situation. My mother always used to say to us,
on Hudson Street.
Hudson Street, too. She always used to say to us, when somebody does wrong, they're going to blame you because they can't handle it.
Wow.
So she was pretty...
That's where you got your Dr. Boom Boom credentials.
Yeah. She was pretty advanced.
Pretty bright woman.
For saying that shit, right?
She also made good pasta.
She did make amazing pasta, right?
Sauce.
Gravy.
Sauce.
All right. Oh, he's a sauce. I'm a fucking gravy.
I was from the south end of Hudson Street.
Yeah, of course you were. All right, we got something from Robin. She just got a new job after a few years of not being employed. And she's really nervous about this and getting back into the swing of things. How should she approach it?
Well, it's understandable that you're going to be nervous. I mean, it's not anything that you can kind of dismiss, because you want to make a good impression. You're not sure of how you're going to handle the challenges ahead. So, you know, I think you have to accept the fact that there's going to be some understandable insecurity, and I think it's important for you to just trust your own instincts and not get overly congested in overthinking things. That'll trip you up. You know, in life, the most important thing is to learn to trust. You know, with trust, we free ourselves and liberate ourselves to be who we are. Right. And that's our best shot. You know, your best shot in life is to be, except for Maryann, but the best shot in the rest of our lives is to be who you are. She bees a little bit too much, but you know, for most of us, freeing and liberating who you are requires that you get out of congested thinking and worrying and insecurity and just kind of let it fly. But it comes with trust. You've got to let that happen. On a new job, you walk tenderly for a while, get the lay of the land, you know, get a little confidence, and then just make sure you're not inhibiting that personality. I like what you said about congested thinking. Mm-hmm. If you have congested thinking, can you take Robitussin and would it help? No. Just got rid of it. You got rid of it? And what do you mean I bees a little too much? You bees a little too much. Why? This is who I am. I'm a big personality. Holy moly. I have a big personality. I can't help it. Yeah, it's very big. Well, yeah, but I project more than you. Can you yell? No. It's not in your nature? No. Really? No. Do you think if you did, that you might have this amazing orgasm? I would be more like you? No, I said orgasm. So if I yell, then this would be something that you would think would be a good thing, because then it would be more like you, and the more people are like you, the better you feel, right?
Oh, you see what he's trying to do there? You see that little shrinky thing he tried to do?
Is she loud, or is it just me?
I am loud, but you have to be loud. When I listen back, I have to do this to hear you.
Excuse me.
Well, I'm just saying. You know, I mean, I know that in your field, it's not.
I don't yell at clients and patients.
You know what, Joe? One time,
should, right?
You should.
Yeah.
I don't know if I think I told you this. One time I went to another shrink because Joe was away.
So she thought.
Yeah.
Oh, Maryann. Oh, geez. You know, I'm just leaving for France.
And I think I told you this, that she started yelling at me, and I got scared.
Scared. That's a Hudson Street word.
It's a Hudson Street word. Oh, I got scared because I was like, "You're so mellow and zen, and it's always relaxing here." And I was like, I didn't know how to answer, and she kept saying, "Well, come on." So I mean, she wasn't. I didn't like her because she was being me. I thought she was annoying.
Did she help you?
No.
There you go.
She pissed me off.
Oof.
Check. All right, let me just see before we read some more questions here. Mirroring. Oh, yeah. All right, Rocco. If he doesn't trust her, tell him you're going to lose me. I just can't take a relationship with you. Trust me or it's over. Hey, Rocco, you're being very assertive, but it doesn't always work that way. I get your point. Okay, let me see here. Thank you all for joining. Rocco, everybody, Donna. Okay, well, actually, this is a different Rocco. It's not the Rocco that just posted. He says, every time I bring a new woman home to meet my family and my mother hates them. Why?
Well, how many women are we talking?
Well, he didn't specify,
Every
but
time.
I mean, you know.
Okay. I guess we have a message.
Okay, go ahead.
I guess it really depends on the mother.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Italian mothers, which we can attest to, are protective.
Correct. They are protective.
And depending on the similarity of the young lady, I would guess that the more similar that person is to the mother's values and projections, that the kinder she'll be. But at first, it's a defensive posture. So this mother is obviously defensive and not sure. You know, it's a mother cub. She's just not sure that someone's going to take advantage of her little boy. It's kind of neurotic. It's kind of being hypersensitive. It's being a protective mother. Sometimes a bit too much.
Well, here's my feeling, Rocco.
Oh boy, here we go.
You're Italian. Obviously, with a name like Rocco, you got to be Italian. No matter what woman you bring home to meet your mother, she's never going to like her. You know why? Number one, you're Italian, which means you're the prodigal son, and nobody's good enough for you. Do you see what I'm saying? It's never going to work out for you. And if you do wind up marrying someone, she's never going to like her, and when she's out of the room or when you call up and say, Ma, we're coming over, she's going to go, oh, you're bringing the other one? Right?
The black and white world of Maryann Maisano. If the shoe doesn't fit, throw it out. No matter what it is. If it doesn't work, walk away.
I'm just saying. He's got to get used to it because no matter who he marries, she's never going to be what the mother wants. And the mother's always going to say, oh, he had to marry that other one. You know.
It may be the initial reaction, but you're saying the mom's hopeless to ever reach.
Yes, because when they're Italian and it's generational, they're set in their friggin' ways. It's very hard to move an Italian mother. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you don't get a lot of Italian mothers coming to you.
All the time I do.
You do, really?
That's my practice.
I know it's your practice, but
Italian mothers.
You do not just get... You get people... I mean, you don't have a lot of Italian women, because typically we don't believe in what you do. The Italian people don't.
Right.
Right?
By and large.
By and large.
The old school. And
the
not
old
so much
school.
the new school.
Right, but if you got somebody from Europe that came here,
right,
they're not immediately going to call you because they're going to call their cousins.
I am Skyping with someone from Milan.
Oh, you really?
Yeah.
Well, that's not. You see, but he's doing it on the computer because he doesn't want anybody to know about it. Let me just check on some more here. Michelle, why do men want to take you to a swingers club on the first date? Whatever happened to dinner and a Broadway show? Wow, Michelle, I don't know who the frig you're dating, okay?
The difference between a swingers club and the rose and dinner is like the difference between lightning and a lightning bug.
That's true. But I would think, I don't know why. Michelle, I mean, Dr. Joe, do you have a clinical?
On that?
Yeah.
I would say that you've got somebody with some intense sexual interests that certainly may not be compatible with yours.
That was
Stick to your more conservative values if that's who you are, and realize that if you put yourself in a situation or an environment that's not what you intend or want, you're only going to damage yourself in this relationship. So I might agree with Black and White Boom Boom that this is one of those cases where we have to have one of those things where, thumbs up, thumbs
down. Right.
We vote. You and I vote.
Yes.
Do we both vote on this?
Yeah, that's a big down. Yeah. And I like what you said, intense sexual situations.
Yeah.
See, because I think if that's what he wants to do, he's just looking to bang you, number one.
Or share you.
And share you, yeah. I mean, you could go to Dubai for that and get paid a lot more money instead of going to a swingers club. So, Michelle, get rid of the friggin' guy. I'm telling
Dubai?
Dubai. Where they get
You been?
You get a bunch of sheiks. A bunch of sheiks will pay a lot of money to hang out with you.
You sound like you're familiar with.
Well, somebody did want the Italian chicks to perform in Dubai, but I was scared.
Scared again. Hudson Street.
Michelle said, thank you for the clinical. Annie said she agrees on that.
Thank you.
Oh, women are all saying the cheaters. Oh, my God.
Whoa.
The cheaters. I mean, there must be a lot of cheaters out there.
Wow.
I don't know. All right, we have another question.
Did we have any cheaters on Hudson Street?
Yes, my father. Remember, I'm a child of infidelity, okay? Hence my new one-woman show, The Ajita Monologue. It's coming soon. Okay. Susan wrote, I live in this little nice bubble, and all is good, but when something interrupts it, I get a lot of anxiety.
Huh.
How do I keep from escalating my issues? All right, this is for Susan, the bubble girl.
In the bubble. I wanted to talk a little bit about stress and anxiety, so this is a good question. We tend to create bubbles because we want to insulate ourselves from harm, danger. When there is insecurity, the best thing we can do to feel calm is to feel safe and secure, to control our world. That's the bubble. So when you're within the bubble, life goes on, everything's cool, but if you step out of that bubble, if the bubble gets pricked, then it becomes, of course, a matter of loss of control. Mm-hmm. That's stressful. What was the bottom line? She wanted to know what to do about being in the bubble? Or?
How do I keep from escalating my issues?
Well, issues, the important thing is to realize life and circumstances don't stress us, the issues that she recommends. Mm-hmm. I know someone will say, yes, but what if someone comes home and beats the snot out of you? That's a stressful situation. Yes. But most of the things in life that stress us are less dramatic, everyday kind of stressors. And it's never life that brings us to our knees. It's how we interpret that, right. What we say about it. You get 10 people with an IRS. 3 are going to have one reaction, 3 are going to have another reaction, and one person's going to walk away and say, it doesn't matter, who cares? So it's not the IRS audit that causes stress, it's how we interpret. Mm-hmm. So if you need to be in a bubble, you must understand, you got a little thing going. If you need to be in a bubble, you have to understand that you're protecting yourself from life. So something in you is saying that you're not secure enough to just trust and be who you are and handle life as it unfolds. See, the key in life is not to control life. That's the problem. The key in life is to go through life, letting it unfold and dealing with things as they occur, not anticipating them. What if, what if, what if, what if. Right.
Because then you what if yourself. Because then, isn't it, and you might be proud, then you're dealing with fact versus fiction.
She goes. See, she learned something from last week.
I learned something over the years with you.
Oh,
took years to learn those 2 words.
No, well, I mean,
Wow.
I'm saying I retain them for God's sakes, okay?
You are a quick fix.
I'm very quick, aren't I? Well, no, it's fact versus fiction, because you could have one thing that's factual,
Right.
and then your anxieties blow it up into this whole big friggin' story with casts of thousands, and you're reacting to this, which is not fact, it's all fiction that you put in your head.
That was good. I don't usually pay that kind of legitimate compliment, but that was good. I hope you were taking notes.
See, he thinks I'm smart. I'm not really that fucked
No,
up.
I didn't go that far.
Oh!
I said the blind squirrel finding the nut. You happened to hit a decent
The
response.
blind squirrel finding the nut! I can't fucking believe it! Does the squirrel have a cane? Okay. Let me just check, because there are a few more here. Okay, we got... Should a cheater... Oh, this is interesting. We got a question. Should a cheater be forgiven? Oh, Michelle wants to know if you're available. Yes, he is. It's Dr. Joseph Luciani, and you could look him up. It's selfcoaching.net.
Available for what?
Well, I hope for Michelle, I know you were talking about swinging, but I hope you're looking for therapy and not a roll in the couch, okay? But we do have a question here. Should a cheater be forgiven?
And
then I'll give you my answer.
There with the grace of God, everyone has problems. Everyone does things that they regret. Not all cheaters are serial cheaters. Not all cheaters are destined, to be destructive. So before you hear the black and white view, let me just say that it really depends. If the cheater acknowledges and is conscious and aware of this as a legitimate problem, needing help and or counseling, there is a possibility that cheating is just a phase that has to be dealt with. Cheating in itself is insecurity. You're with someone and you have to be with someone else because you can't settle down. You can't really just allow yourself to feel comfortable in one situation. You need to have many situations to convince you you're okay, or to stroke your ego, or whatever it might be.
All right, I hear what you're saying, and it's a logical response. However, I feel, and maybe it's because of my background, being a child of infidelity, that's a hot button for me, right? I'm thinking, right? So I feel I could never fucking forgive anybody that cheated on me. As a matter of fact, I was in a horrible relationship for many years, and I used to say to my friends, please, if they would only cheat on me, I would get rid of them like that. But no, they didn't cheat on me. They just pissed me off all the time. But typically, you may be right. There may be somebody that does a whoops. But I still think a whoops is a pretty big friggin' deal.
Well, let me just comment on, you see, Maryann presents an interesting point, and that is she was traumatized by the past.
Right.
And if you will, it wouldn't fall under the designation of post-traumatic stress. It's not of the criteria to meet that. But it is like a post-traumatic stress. If you saw her reaction, she really cannot forgive. It's because of the stress, because of the trauma of the past. For Maryann, it is, that aspect is a black and white aspect for her. Mm-hmm. Can you moderate that a bit? Can you, work on it if you wanted to? But it is a hot button, as you say. Right. And it's based on the trauma of your past.
Yes, yes. But, and I do think, even, I don't know, look, if you're in a committed relationship and you both agree to be monogamous, then you have to fucking toe the line, okay? If you are in an open relationship, then that's your own fucking business. Right. But I don't go for that shit.
Yeah. Well, since we're sharing traumatic moments, now Maryann,
I'm scared.
You heard about Maryann's trauma. Now, my trauma was not in the same ballpark. When I was riding a tricycle. How old is a tricycle? 3 years old, 4 years old? I was 18. I was 18! And I went up to Main Street. I remember the fruit store. I don't know if you remember on Main Street.
Yeah, I do.
And there was a half of a lemon in the gutter. Mm-hmm. So I picked it up, I brought it home, and I gave it to my mother. I was so proud to give her this gift. So she takes me by the ear to the owner of the store, and she makes me go in and confess for stealing his lemon. So my hot button, and I know it's not the same trauma, obviously, but my hot button is unfairness. If someone says or treats me unfairly or makes me want to do something that is not fair, I have that immediate reaction. And these things come with us through life, they do.
And it's all because of that friggin' lemon.
It's lemon. And look what she has in her bottle.
I have lemons. I have lemons in it.
To torment me.
But aren't I always so kind to you?
So far.
I'm always kind.
Relatively.
Rat bastards. Thank you for those questions. I'm going to look for some more. Nancy, this is a Fort Lee girl, Hudson Street. She knows it. Gianni.
Hudson Street.
Forgiveness is the greatest gift you can give someone. Nancy, I agree, but not if they friggin' cheated on me.
Well, forgiveness has to be contingent on change and legitimate evolution. If you're going to forgive somebody who's going to go out and kick you in the shins again, then I don't know. I have a problem with that. But I do agree, forgiveness is a wonderful thing if the person deserves it.
All right, we also, from my question before, the person that said, could you forgive someone for cheating? I agree with Boom Boom. I trusted, I forgave, never again, lesson learned. Good.
It's Dr. Boom Boom.
Dr. Boom Boom. Thanks, Will. I appreciate you watching. All right, Michelle, the girl that asked before about swinging. There you go, Nancy Gianni. Michelle Bell, she said, I have fucking PTSD from a borderline personality disorder. From a borderline personality disorder mother. My next book should be Daughter Dearest. Well, Michelle, if you really have all that, first I feel bad, and maybe you do need to speak to Dr. Joe. I hope you don't mind me jumping in here, because you can then, But maybe that's why you're attracting swingers, okay?
Why?
Her energy.
Her energy.
I know it's not psychological, but her energy is all shangad. It's all... Where
are you picking up her energy? I know.
Well, her mother's got a borderline personality disorder.
Right.
She's got post-traumatic stress disorder because of it. So her energy is all fucking shangad. And your energy can attract... Oh my God, we had an interruption there, and I had it on Do Not Disturb. Have to figure that out. But your energy, don't you think if your energy is all shangad, you can attract things?
Well, maybe the word energy is throwing me. I would say if you're insecure in your own skin to some extent, you probably aren't secure enough to know someone's bad and just walk away from it. You probably maybe extend yourself a little bit too far, go a few more steps than you should. Your instincts, maybe you don't trust them enough.
Right.
So that comes from a traumatic past.
Well, you're right, and I'm probably using a very broad term.